So you can write it to underthecardboardbox@gmail.com to submit your question for the week. We've been giving away Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain for PC, courtesy of Konami, and we have a new winner. So he followed us on Facebook, on Twitter, and he sent us an email. His name is Carlos Elias.
Congratulations, Carlos. Congratulations. You sent in your email for discussion at underthecardboardbox@gmail.com, and you were selected to win. So we will give you your copy of Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain for Steam PC.
That's right.
Just email us back so we know that you're alive.
Yes,
and
please.
we will more than gladly send you your code. And you guys can also win by doing exactly what he did. If your discussion is chosen, then we'll say it on the show, and you will win a copy.
We just asked for two things. Follow us on Twitter. That's @UCB Podcast. And send us an email at underthecardboardbox@gmail.com. So you can win just like Carlos did. He said, hey guys, I want to participate. How about you guys discuss a possible MGS using VR? That would be really cool. Thank you for the chance. UCBP.
You know, it's funny. When we selected it, and then we also had news about it.
Yep. Yeah.
So it was kind of like we already kind of talked about this.
A little bit, yeah.
But then I was just like, let's elaborate.
Right.
And then Heido was like, yeah, let's do it. So go on, man.
So, in the sense of Konami, obviously they own the IP, making a Metal Gear VR game. I see it in a way where, let's start with original. Metal Gear Solid VR missions, right?
Uh-huh.
There's obviously certain of them that are in first-person view. That's how I could imagine VR.
From Substance, yes.
Right? But I see it as just a one game Metal Gear VR missions remastered for the PlayStation VR or the Oculus Rift or something. Imagine you walking through the corridor, starting out, you're picking whatever you want, and then you're just going ahead and just first person view or even third person, going in and just experiencing it for the first time in virtual reality. What do you feel?
I think I was going to say I think it'll be a dream, but I know what would come after that. We always say Snake Eater or something like that. But honestly, I that would be awesome.
Yeah.
It would definitely be something I would get.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
I think this will thrive, like we were saying before.
Yeah.
This will thrive in getting that IP for the PlayStation VR.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of tried to do something immersive like that for Metal Gear Acid 2, where they tried to immerse the player with the solid eye or what,
Yeah, with the PlayStation Portable.
And so, doing that for other it was a third-person perspective.
Yeah.
But doing it for other games, kind of revamping them, kind of like remastering them, so that we see a 3D perspective.
Yeah.
Would be great. I just thought of MGS, like when you're crawling through the duck.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And you kind of see these things going on. I thought it was great. I thought it would be great.
Yeah, it's a great iteration to maybe adding on to something. Certain parts can be, VR. So I was thinking of going through the timeline of games. Metal Gear Solid 1. Like you were saying, going through the ducks, Shadow Moses. How awesome would it be in like you're the camera there, and you're experiencing this. Imagine what kind of tricks you would do with Psycho Mantis, as a breaking the fourth wall kind of
which he did, yeah,
kind of thing.
Can you imagine him responding to you as like, I see you?
Right, that's creepy. Yeah,
like instead of reading your memory card, it's just like like you're not part of this world or something like that. It would be pretty cool.
Metal Gear has always been a third person view game. Like when I think of immersion in games, I think of first person view games, and you're in it. So how can this possibly work with a third person view game?
Third person view, I don't think it would I think it would work just like the Solid Eye. It's just immersing you in the environment.
Yeah.
The sounds.
Right.
You know what I mean? You hear distinct sounds. You hear footprints. You hear you're just deeply immersed in it.
Yeah.
But you're seeing yourself from a out of body experience kind of a thing.
Right.
Can it work? Possibly. Is it the best route? Not that I wouldn't recommend a third person VR kind of a thing, because then it's just like, what's the point of VR?
Yeah.
I mean, it can look good.
Right.
It can look good, but it's just like, just imagine, it's still third person, but the point of VR is just like, you can't turn the camera around you kind of a thing.
Yeah.
You gotta look.
You gotta look. Yeah. Yeah.
And
especially for the old games,
it would definitely
Metal Gear Solid 1 and Metal Gear Solid 2,
it'll
Metal Gear
immerse
Solid 3.
It'll immerse the game much more. And that's funny that you mentioned that, because you can't adjust the camera in Metal Gear Solid 1.
Exactly, but you could only do the whole
or part 2.
like just shifting the camera.
In part 2 they introduced that. In part 3
so
in Substance they changed that, where you can kind of like
finally over the shoulder
move
kind
the
of
camera. That's 3D. They put over the shoulder aiming. But what I mean is, in Substance, they allow you to freely move the camera instead of just tilting it to like a corner.
Right. So it could be something like that, where you're kind of playing bird's eye view, and you look up, you look left, you look to right, and you could do the shift of camera. Your head and your eyes would work as the right analog stick.
Yeah. I mean, I guess would you put a designated button for first person view then? Kind of like the game does, and then you're able to freely look?
Yeah, I think so. Like, you'll have to hold like a button. Like, let's say if you hold R1 or something, and you're like just kind of like looking left and right. So what you do with that time is something that can work together with the camera angles. Let's say if you're crawling through the ground, for example, right?
Yeah.
You know how sometimes when you go through the grass, it goes into first person view. Like, let's say if you could choose the option to go into VR and into going into, let's say, I don't know, you go into first person view and you have something, you're crawling through the ground, and you can choose which one you want. What is going on here? What are you doing?
I'm trying to like.
Are you doing like hand signals here?
I'm trying to remain professional in front of the camera. I'm trying to tell Elvis my charger's in my coat.
How are you going to possibly tell him that?
He's like, can you please go into my coat pocket, pull out my adapter, and connect my phone to because we were live streaming.
Yeah.
And it died.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah. So that's what I was trying to tell him. I'm sorry, guys. I was trying to be as subtle as possible, but then I don't like. I wasn't doing that.
This is what it feels like.
No, I was doing it with one hand. I was just like,
oh yeah, sure.
And I was like, yes, that is not. It's not in there. Okay, it's in my pocket actually. Okay.
It's in your pocket.
Elvis is losing it. Come here, man.
Oh,
here,
goodness.
Take it. Please.
It's been in your pocket the whole time?
No, it was in. I took it out to connect it before, and Elvis was just like, "Oh no, put it here."
But wasn't it charging on your computer?
I guess it didn't. Since it was live streaming, it was like draining faster than it could give.
Gotcha. Yeah.
There's one right over there. Just connect it there.
Right.
All right, back to the show.
All right. So, like I was saying, crawling through the ground in VR. I think it would be cool to give you an option whether you want to see it in third person, like snake slithering, or first person. I want to know how to work in immersion wise. Like maybe sounds and like the atmosphere and environments would be cool. I see certain cool boss battles that can come out of it, like the Sorrow. Imagine going through that in first person view and seeing all the like the trails and stuff of people on you, the animals and stuff. And then you see Sorrow all the way in the back. Kind of thing. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, they tried to introduce kind of a first-person experience, not just in the VR training missions, but in Metal Gear Solid 4, it was the first time that you can kind of like see in first-person view
also
and move. It wasn't meant to be that way.
No.
So you were very limited in your movements, and you would mainly walk.
Yeah. You wouldn't really run like
you
how you do
run.
in
it wouldn't.
Phantom Pain.
Yeah, you wouldn't really. You would move very slowly. But if they did a VR of those games, I could definitely like. It would be like you said. It would be crazy if you were playing maybe even part 4 and you're crawling and stuff like that, and you see like your arms And then you just like you doing the game, and then you see the camouflage just take on like whatever pattern you're on.
That's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah.
You know, things like that. Of course, they would have to work some mechanics because you could be able to use the blade any way you want.
Right.
Be able to hit any way you want. It's kind of like it would be like the final project from what the Kinect tried to do. Because the Kinect kind of like when you would like fight in front of the Kinect, it would, or in the Wii with the nunchucks, it would read it in a certain way. So, just thinking about it, it would be so cool to play Part 4 like that, or Part 3 like that, where camouflage is something that It's just funny. I just thought of something in VR. You remember the beginning part where you jump off the plane? Like, can you imagine that?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Like in VR,
That's
you just
really
like,
cool.
You're jumping and you're falling down. You hear the wind go past you, and you're just. It's the first Halo jump according to Metal Gear history.
Yeah, I believe that maybe if you just remake the game into first person view, like just the whole thing. You change it into certain aspects where you have to cover like, I believe that game could be first person view. It could be played first person view. The whole games, like any of the games.
Do you think if it was just first person view that it would be as entertaining though?
Oh no, of course not, because Snake is such a iconic character. You need to see him. But I think for the purpose of VR, you'd have to change it.
Well, yeah, the difference. Yeah, there is a difference there. In my opinion, first person and VR, two different things. Because first person, you get a perspective,
right?
But VR is you are given an experience. And so to experience MGS in that kind of environment, it would be different for them to kind of like, because you can have the biggest screen in the world.
Yeah.
And first person view will always still be first person view.
Absolutely.
So I think it would make the great difference. But if Metal Gear came out with a VR, I can only say that I would love it to be like Metal Gear Solid 5 though.
Yeah.
Where it was just you're free roaming, you're good to go. You can go in vehicles, you can call in D-Horse. You're talking about a lot of things, and it's a huge area to look around and kind of like you don't know where anyone is coming from anytime. And just imagine reflex mode in VR.
Yeah,
that would be like fling, like good. They're in this. You look.
Yeah.
And you aim the gun because of course you can do it yourself, and just pulling the trigger because time is slow.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? That would be so cool.
Very, very cool. How I see it is just making the whole thing just first person view, trying to make it into that experience, into that immersion of Metal Gear, facilitating it in a way where you could still get the Metal Gear feel to it, but also like. I'm thinking of scenarios like being under a cardboard box and like you're peeping through the hole and stuff. Like you'll have to tilt your head up and stuff and like move.
Yeah, you won't be able to see the third person anymore.
Right, like just imagine you being in a locker or something and
you're
like
tilting your face.
You're tilting your face just to see around.
You have to get close to the grail of it.
Right, to see.
But you have to do it slowly because if you do it too fast, you'll hear tang tang. Like
that'll be cool.
Like you just do it slowly to peek and you peek to the side.
Right. Driving vehicles will be cool, like in Metal Gear Solid 5, you get to drive now. So Snake finally gets his license. So
yeah,
and he just imagine him driving and you look to your right and stuff. I'm thinking of certain scenarios like Metal Gear Solid 3 where you're in the passenger seat of that motorcycle with Eva. In the end, and you're like looking and stuff.
You look right at her.
Right. So I don't know if you ever. I'm pretty sure you've done it, but there's a cinematic mode, in Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yes, of course.
So in that part, whereas like if you leave it alone, it's like a
you
like
get
a scenario,
different angles and
it's so cool.
Yeah,
you see like certain parts where you almost die, you're about to die, and like. It's like all the cars and stuff is about to hit you, and you just get out. Imagine that in like a VR setting. Where you're seeing that actually happen, like whoa, this car's about to hit me.
I'm just really interested in how immersed it would be, like the sound, from everything. Like you're hearing the Shago Hod like behind you, and like the gears turning, and and when you plant the C4s to try to destroy it before any of that happens, like just hearing the ticker,
right.
Like that's all things that I want to like like hear and see. And
now also imagine Metal Gear Solid 4 when you're playing as Rex. You know, you're inside of Rex and you're fighting.
You see the control
imagine
console,
the control console,
right? How about in the microwave? Forget that.
Right, the microwave, man. That would be
microwave,
great too.
and
that'd be good. You see Snake's octo camo just ripping off of him
you
and everything.
You see the Mark II right in front of you.
Right,
and he's
right,
trying to tell you like, come on, you know, like you
That's
can
really
do
good.
it. Although I don't know.
Can you press first person view in that part?
I've never done it. I don't think you can.
Let us know at Under the Cardboard Box.
No, please.
Let us know if you
let
can.
us know. Let us know if you can.
I want to see if you can, because that would be pretty cool, you know? Because I know it's like a double screen and then like the comic kind of.
I mean, I don't know how hitting first person. I don't think you can, only because hitting first person view and then tapping triangle. Or X, whatever. It's triangle. It is triangle.
Is it? I thought it was box.
Or is it? No, they never do box. It's either. No, it has to be X. It's X. It's X.
It's X.
It's X. It has to be. But yeah, it was just those, and then the ending scene of Metal Gear Solid 4.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah,
Seeing Big Boss again. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. That would be cool too. That'd be very cool. I think that having VR, you know, just in a Metal Gear setting would be cool. But I think it would serve its purpose of having that IP, like selling the VR. Like, hey, look, we have Metal Gear on VR now. You know,
I definitely think it would help sell. Especially, I just thought of another scene while we were just talking about it. The first scene in the Phantom Pain when you're in the hospital.
Oh yeah,
and you're just like you're waking out of the coma.
Yeah, most of that scene is like in first person anyway. You know.
Yeah. So imagine immersed.
Right.
With every detail.
Yeah.
Like in your face. Like you feel like you are waking up from
the man on fire.
Which is like it's how I wake up every time in the morning, you know.
You're just like, what?
What? I started I think I'm gonna start playing The Man Who Sold the World as my alarm so that I can wake up that way. It's just like you know. But yeah,
that's good.
I agree with you. I think the IP. I think it would definitely sell the IP a lot more.
Yeah.
Because Metal Gear is such a story driven game, and the thing is that it's possible. Yeah. You know, I think of other games such as Uncharted, and it's like, could you really do it there?
Right.
Only because of all the climbing you do. It's really action packed. It's really great, and I think it would be great on VR. But we're not here to talk about Uncharted, but.
Of course,
I think.
Yeah, I mean, it will be a great.
It would, I think it would be quite the challenge. Game. But Metal Gear kind of sets the tone in terms of story, and Hideo Kojima pays a lot of attention to certain details, certain sounds. Yeah. I was really impressed, especially with the Fox engine. When you would shoot, you know, the guns, you hear the bullets hit the ground, like, you know, and it's the chilling.
You hear it coming back up.
Yeah. You hear.
It's good. It's good.
So, it sounds like that I would be interested in.
For sure. Thank you, Carlos, for writing into underthecardboardbox@gmail.com, just like you can. We are also on Twitter, so follow us on Twitter @UCB Podcast to submit your question. We have more codes left for our Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain giveaway for PC. So just write into us with your topics, questions, or concerns, and hopefully you could get a shot at being a part of the show.
Yes, absolutely. Also, we are still doing our entries. Yes. So if you're interested in giving an intro, introducing us to the show, do so. Send it in to underthecardboardbox@gmail.com. Yeah. And, you know, we'll choose it. We'll pick it. Steven did an amazing job.
Yeah, he was great.
It will not be the last time you guys hear it.
Nope.
But send it in, guys. We want you to be part of the podcast. We really do.
Absolutely. You guys are the voices of Metal Gears.
Yes.
So
you guys are the reason we still do this show.
Yes.
So
absolutely. Well, let's go on to the next segment.
It's time.
Trivia time.